Greetings, beautiful people of the earth. This is Donnie Metro Pixel here with another review that I'm going to send off for you. And this one is going to be the 7 Deadly Sins, Episode 1, Season 1. Let's get right into it, shall we? So, the episode pretty much opens with a flashback of young Alione discovering the bodies of the numerous holy knights after the alleged betrayal of the 7 Deadly Sins. Pretty much taking on to the account of the premise, the show should be pretty much straightforward. So right now we have this young girl named Elizabeth who also happens to be a princess of a kingdom. But in the first episode, she meets a young boy named Meliodas, happily serving customers to a tavern. So a man bursts into the tavern and he states that he saw the infamous Rust Knight. One bar patron says that the Rust Knight is just some made up old story to scare kids into believing. He points out that the wanted posters and explains that the 7 Deadly Sins have massacred the Holy Knights, including the Grandmaster 10 years ago. Loud creaking noises stop the conversations in the bar, and Hawk, which is a talking pig, says he could smell the rust. The door swings open back and forth, and a large armored figure shambles in, causing the patrons to evacuate. The figure falls backward, revealing an unconscious woman. The owner brings her back to the room and checks to make sure that she's a woman, much to frustration of Hawk. When she wakes up, she asks what happened and where she is, and then he replies that she suddenly passed out in the bar. So he makes food for her, and then she agrees that the food is completely awful, but still says it's delicious as she begins to cry. She explains that she's looking for the sins. Outside is Alione and his group of knights demanding entry so that they can arrest the Rust Knight. Alione recounts that his experiences at the uprising 10 years ago, telling them not to underestimate the sins. His team just completely didn't believe him. The knights shout out at the bar again for the Rust Knight to come out, and Hawk comes over dressed up with pieces of armor. Alione shouts out at the owner, frustrated with the turn of events while the woman tries to sneak out of the bar. One of the knights notices her, and Alione calls for them to inform Twigo. The knights chase her through the forest. Alione muses that he can finally be an apprentice holy knight if he catches her. Of course, however, Hawk bolts in and knocks out all of them. The owner then asks why she's looking for the sins, and then she replies that she's trying to stop the holy knights. Hawk questions this as saying that the holy knights are heroes who protect Leonis. However, the woman reveals that the king is not actually sick and that the holy knights have commenced a coup de grace to start a war. Though she knows that they are considered criminals, the sins are her only hope into stopping the holy knights. Sir Twigo cuts the ground below them, causing them to fall down the cliff. He tells the rest of the knights to write up a report about the casualties, but the owner lands safely in front of them with Hawk. Alione and the woman in tow. Twigo recognizes the woman's earrings as a mark of the royal family, concluding that she is Elizabeth, the third princess of Leonis. Elizabeth and Hawk and the owner flee into the forest. That's where pretty much the action actually starts getting into play. Pretty much they go into the forest hoping to accidentally kill her. Twigo cuts through the entire forest, causing hundreds of trees to fall down. Pretty much the owner shields her from the impact of with his body. However, Elizabeth then walks towards Twigo to give herself up in hopes that a kind stranger would not be killed because of her. After protecting her again, he introduces himself as Meliodas. Alione wakes up looking for Meliodas, but a knight reassures him that Twigo can handle himself. Yet Alione says they should be worried as he had recognized Meliodas' dragon tattoo. Twigo attacks Meliodas from behind, but then instead Twigo is the one who gets hurt as Meliodas stands tall, Twigo recognizes him and asks how he looks exactly the same. Twigo attacks again, but has done little to no damage. Meliodas counterattacks with his broken blade and causes the whole area to explode in a cloud of smoke, and Twigo just goes shoot off into the distance. And then after the whole battle, as a result, it pretty much heads into an outlandish route once we learn his true identity as the captain of the seven deadly sins. And from here on and out, the duo remarks on a journey to find the remaining sins. There's also some explanations regarding the origins of the series in the beginning, so all should be made clearly to the audience. But taken for granted, the show is kind of generic at first from glance. The world setting takes the series in a place that is pretty much gimmicky in a way, because this takes place in a fantasy type of world in England. All in all, the animation has its potential. Like, there's a lot of power and weight to the characters' movements. Like, it's still being warmed up, and it's pretty much an adaptation to this point. One thing that I can say is that it does have its certain true events based on England, and we'll just see where this could fold hand in hand as the episodes go by. So what do you think about this review? If you like it, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and let your friends know about the whole Wisecrack Nation, that where your source is everything, and I mean always everything, nerd related.